This clip covers the temperature gradients tool within Innova Engineering. So the first thing we can do is have a unit selection. So temperature by default is in Celsius, but we can change this to Fahrenheit as well. Next, you'll input your well geometry. Basically, it will run from 0 to the deepest depth you have in this well geometry. So I'll put 5,000 feet TBD. The next thing is we can do interpolations based upon a measured depth. So if you want that functionality to be able to work, you could also input surveys. So in this case, I'll do a tie-in surface, and then I'll put a 10 degree so we can see a difference between TBD and MD. Once we've got those in place, we can go to Options and Temperature Gradients. Opens the Temperature Profiles dialog. So within here we have our graph, which outputs our data outputs. We have our surface temperature. So in this case, it will be about 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 degrees Celsius. We have our single temperature gradient of degrees Fahrenheit per 100 foot. Again, this changes based upon the units we've got selected. And then we've also got the option for offshore wells, the water depth and the water temperature gradient. Based upon these inputs here, the temperature gradients for static, drilling, cementing and production are then calculated. And we also have an interpolate functionality here. So if we wanted to see what the temperature for these various different pumping states are at a different depth, then we can get that interpolation for an MD or a TVD. Another functionality we have, instead of a single gradient temperature profile, we can input multiple gradients. So from 0 to our first depth, say 1,000 feet, we can have a temperature gradient of 3. From 1,000 to 1,200, temperature gradient of 1. And then from 1,200 to 5,000 feet, we have a temperature gradient of 2.2. Okay, you can see here that the software has calculated the variation based upon these multiple gradients. And again, when this is selected, we can interpolate those outputs. That is a brief introduction into temperature profiles within Innova Engineering.